All right, welcome into the latest edition of the Second Half Draft Show. I'm your host Juice, joined by Drew this evening. I'm actually back for the first time in quite some time. Life happened,
hmm
responsibilities, but excited for this evening's show. We're going to do a user or viewer controlled mock draft, and typically, historically, we've done that with a series of polls. But Mrs. Prasky, Mrs. Prasky, obviously in the comments saying, "Listen, man, we got PFN Network to do this thing," and absolutely, there is that functionality. So that's the direction that we're going to go in here, and they've actually expanded it to all 32 teams. I think the last time we did one of these, you could only have 16 users at a time. So they've bolstered their mock draft simulator a bit here, and we're going to do all 7 rounds. So before I get it teed up and make sure I'll get everybody the details so that they can get logged in, just want to preface this by saying we're going to do 7 rounds. So select your favorite team. We won't do the crazy Mr. C. Pratsky idea this time around as relates for drafting for someone else's favorite team, but select your favorite team or the team that you want to represent, and we'll carry it through for 7 rounds, see how we do. All right. Drew, we're officially 1 week out from the 2025 NFL draft. Seemingly, and again, I've been away from it for about a week or so. So fill me in. What have I missed? What's the headlines? What's the buzz? Are we talking trades towards the top of the draft? Is the top 10 kind of crystallizing? What are you hearing? What are you seeing? What are your thoughts?
So as far as I know, Cam Ward is locked into Tennessee Titans. Andrew Berry, I think he was talking today about Shedeur, and not Shedeur. I'm sorry, Travis. Well, he talked I think a little bit about Shedeur, but he's more talking about Travis Hunter. Sounds like that's probably a lot for the Cleveland Browns. I think Travis Hunter, and then Shedeur's not going to the Steelers, bro.
Not having.
What I saw. That's what I heard. That didn't go well, allegedly. So, yeah, I mean, Drew is not in witness protection. I am here, alive and kicking. Thank you very much. I heard a lot of scuttlebutt, a lot of talk about Jalen Walker. Just different people in their perspective of him. Some people like him, some people don't. I don't think anybody's got him down in like the. I don't think anybody's got him below maybe about in their top 15. But I think some people are just a little bit higher in terms of what he can be. And then some people are a little lower because he's kind of I don't want to call him a jack of all trades, but they don't know what he exactly does excellent or great, right? You can say he does everything good, but that's kind of where they stop. So,
right.
There was some Melrose talk. Oh no, that's who Barry was talking about. He was talking about Melrose, talking about he might be the faster than Lamar when he comes into the league. I mean, you can be fast, bro, but can you process and get through it? Because that's where I'm at with it right now with Melrose, right?
Yeah.
And then we can talk about your boy from Tennessee. I know that's college football, but we leave $2 million and we go and get 1.5 million allegedly, and then you're probably only going to see about 750 of that because you're out there in California, which is a terrible decision.
Hey, life is a gamble, bro.
Yeah, I hear that.
Life is a gamble. So, it was not well thought out. Certainly you could argue some greed. I'm all for the players, marketing themselves, getting their money. But, I just, sometimes you just wonder about the type of information that they're getting, who's in their ear. Apparently this is a parent, you know what I'm saying? Who, obviously a lot of parents are like, their kid is the best thing that has ever happened or ever graced the face of the earth, you know what I'm saying? And in this particular context, major college football, that isn't necessarily the case. Your feelings aren't necessarily valid. So right. At any rate, hopefully it's a cautionary tale, but we'll see it again. It's gonna happen. It's bound to happen again. You got like 10,000 kids in the portal, bro.
Yeah, that's why.
Like there's not 10,000 spots out there, paying spots out there for you. Right. It's just not, So yeah, man. It's an unfortunate situation, but it seems it was self-inflicted. So, all right. I'm just as I mentioned here in the comments, we got the ProFootballNetwork.com mock draft. Obviously, is where you want to go. I'm creating the room right now as we speak, so you may need to refresh, but I'm adding the room name and the password to the chat as well. So the room name is CPGM user mock. What's up, Behold? Long time, bro. Password CPGM. That's CPGM, all lowercase. All right. Yes, making it private, DK. Making it private.
Nobody get in there and hack this, bro.
Yeah, you know how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I will also post the room ID if that is helpful. And we'll get things underway here shortly. So for those of you that no one's asked, but I'll tell you. I'll tell you. I was actually away for work, my day job. And it actually took me to the Google Cloud Next conference in Las Vegas. And
Learn some stuff, bro.
yeah, Skynet is coming, bro. If you're familiar with Terminator, bro,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we are breakneck speed towards Skynet. Okay,
Well, somebody need to find John Connor,
bro, it's something. You have to figure something out because we're gonna have to figure something out because it's wild out here, bro. It's wild. You know what? I'm gonna represent the Carolina Panthers. I don't think I've drafted for Carolina in one of these just yet. So that's who I'm gonna go with. We got myself representing the Panthers, as I mentioned. Drew, obviously the Bucks. CPGM. Oh, is that Dana? That's Dana. Dana with the Cards. D-Kit representing his Giants. Mr. C, obviously, with the Seahawks. And I believe, who is that representing the Packers? Is that Bill Ziff? That might be Bill Ziff right there. All right, so we'll give another few seconds here before we get started. But
this one doesn't put a clock on you, huh? When you do it private.
No, it doesn't seem that way. It doesn't seem that way. So the users without a team at the end of the draft countdown will be automatically removed from the room. So maybe they made an adjustment.
Maybe.
Or it starts after a certain amount of time, that countdown. But
yeah,
I don't necessarily have a problem with us getting started here. So Aaron, join Aaron quickly. If you want the Bears, jump in. All the details should be here in the chat. Once again, room name CPGM user mock, password CPGM lowercase, and then you can also see, I'll post it once more, the room ID. There we go. So hopefully Aaron can jump in as well. There's your password. But yeah, it doesn't seem like we're up against the clock just yet. A lot of spots available. Again, it looks like Pro Football Network's expanded it from 16 to all 32. I don't know if that's a limited time thing or not. But going back to my point, yeah, exactly. But going back to my point regarding Google Next, I mean, really, really interesting stuff, really cutting edge stuff coming out of that conference. And, you know, my thought process in part was, you know, what can we do? What can we leverage as relates to bolstering our mock draft simulator, which is one of the things I want to do here in the off season. So stay tuned. There may be some things we can do to curtail some of the costs, the development costs associated with enhancing the product. So definitely be on the lookout for that. All right, looks like we got one more that might be Aaron right there. Does he have a team? Yes, Aaron has a team. All right, nice. All right. I think, Drew, we should get it underway. I think we'll get it underway here with these 7. Solid group. We may be able to get one more of these in before the actual draft, and I anticipate we'll be streaming at the very least the first 2 days. I actually like streaming on the third day because it's very few. Alex trying to get in. Come on, Alex. Very few publications, channels, whomever actually covering day 3, and that's when we do some of our best work. somewhere we do our very best work. If you look at NFL rosters, the majority of the rosters are comprised of day 3 and undrafted prospects. So that's the reality. Just the reality of the situation. So while day 1 and 2 get a lot of attention, and there's a lot of hoopla around that. Day 3 certainly is significant as well. D-Kid said he's playing this straight. I don't know what that means. What does that mean, D-Kid? Military Jones have been using facial recognition predictive AI for years now. This requires the human to pull the trigger. Last I knew a decade ago when my friend left the service. Listen, the way these AI agents, and I mean, they're making it easy now between Metabase and some of the various Gemini, the LLMs that are out there. It's a few pushes of the button. You don't necessarily have to have a whole lot of experience as it relates to code or anything like that to create legitimate AI agents. And it's the direction that we're going in. Let's just hope we have enough guardrails in place before it becomes legitimately. I'm not even embellishing. I used to joke about this maybe 10 years ago, Dana, but not anymore. Not anymore. Like we got to have a master switch in place. Otherwise, it's going to be a Skynet situation. And I mean, here's the thing: the movie's been out 40 years. Like we've already been warned. You know what I'm saying? Can't copy the numbers. Uh-oh. I'm telling you, Mr. C. and it's all gas, no brakes. All gas, no brakes. But enough of that. Drew, these bucks of yours, as we try to give Alex a little time here to jump in. 8 is a nice even number. What's the plan of action? You may not want to give it away, all right? But I'm thinking, what are you thinking in terms of the Bucks? What do you have to do as an organization to feel good about your draft class? What do you got to come away with?
Well, I'm probably gonna trade for Jalen Ramsey. No, I'm just playing. I think we got to come away with a corner, and I think the number one thing they got to come away with is definitely a pass rusher, somebody who's going to be effective on most downs. Both can win in the run and the pass. I would love for a Jalen Walker, Izaraku, Mike Green, the guys at the top. I'm good with any of those guys. I think they'll have a shot at one of those guys, maybe even 2 of those guys. But we'll see if all those guys are taken, by the time they have to pick, then I think they probably go in a different direction. Corner, maybe even safety is a possibility. I think linebacker, safety, corner, and edge rusher. I think defense, unless somebody crazy falls to them on the offensive side, outside of running back and quarterback. So, but I doubt that.
Yeah. I think you're right. You hit the nail on the head in terms of the need, and I think the board will match up with the need as well. Sometimes you don't want to force a need necessarily because the player isn't a value at that particular juncture in the draft. But I do think there's a distinct chance everything will match up in terms of either a defensive back. I know you got Jihad Campbell. Certainly, you wouldn't necessarily lose any sleep over a Campbell type, or pass rusher or edge rusher. You know what I'm saying? A full-time edge rusher where Campbell is certainly can blitz, but is an off-ball linebacker, best in class, frankly. So, yeah, man. And you talked about it earlier in terms of Jalen Walker. Like there seems to be some polarity associated with him, but CBGM is we're big fans, and it's interesting. It's obviously interesting, always interesting to see everybody else kind of catch up. Because again, I give Headley a ton of credit. He was on Jalen Walker early during summer scouting. It didn't take us long as we started to actually do our evaluations leading into the season. And then throughout the early parts of the 2024 season, let's see. Alex is struggling to get in. Let me see if I can. No, that doesn't work. Can't invite you that
if you usually view the desktop page on your phone, the multiplayer option doesn't show up. Make sure you are on mobile mode. If you're on your phone, click multiplayer, join the room. So it depends on how it comes up.
Just finishing my thought with respect to Jalen Walker. Again, I find it interesting to see when people start to catch up, right? No, I did all 32. 32 users can jump in. 7 is such a weird number. Like I wouldn't stop it there. So 32 people can actually join. So I'm not sure. Maybe there is some type of time limit that we're not privy to.
It doesn't show. Yeah.
But seeing as how it's a private room, I'm not sure why it's working that way. Okay. Alex, we're going to get started here at the half-hour mark, so another 2 minutes or so. I'm trying to figure out, is there another method to get you in here? Yeah, I think it was August. It might have been as early as July, because we start summer scouting, maybe 2 or 3 weeks after the draft ends, a month or so after the draft ends. So, yeah, definitely, very early on. Oh, no, the stamp. Yes, the stamp. Not just the discussion around Walker, but the stamp was in August. So, absolutely. All right, looks like.
Try that.
Maybe that link right there.
Yeah, see if that works. Yeah, I think when they were talking about Jalen Walker, I saw somebody kind of broke it down. These two guys were kind of going back and forth. And one guy, was kind of just looking at purely numbers. The other guy was kind of doing a mix of both numbers and what he saw on tape. And I mean, the one thing I think when you play for specific teams, I didn't know my light was on. It's one of those things too. You got to think, okay, what am I being asked to do? Like, he was also asked to spy the quarterback, so that takes away from him being a pass rusher. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what side of the line of scrimmage what side of the if he's on the left side or the right side, was he asked to be that strong side guy to hold the edge, maintain the edge on the RPO? Like, what was he asked to do, right? Versus just taking off and going for the quarterback, because I don't think he's been unleashed, right? In terms of just being a straight pass rusher or just being a linebacker, right? Off the ball linebacker, outside linebacker, or edge. I don't think he's ever had that. Just say, this is what we want you to do. So, and again, I think he's going to be a star no matter where he goes. Coaching does matter, unfortunately, and coaches will, have people up. Unfortunately, might get some Isaiah Simmons treatment out here, right? Who else did the Cardinals screw up? Isaiah Simmons. Your boy from I'm drawing a blank. What's his name? What's the other guy? Man.
I don't know what happened, but it looks like folks are getting bumped.
Getting bumped now?
Yeah. Not sure what happened there.
You want to
All right, Bill is rejoining. Maybe just to get the appropriate name, they decided to drop and rejoin. So back. Dana's back in. Bill's back in.
Mm-hmm.
I think we lost Aaron. Looks like Aaron is gone. And yeah, they got bumped. What happened to Aaron? Let's see if Aaron can get back in.
That's weird.
All right. Alex, that's you? Yo? Who is Yo?
Yo.
Let me see. If it's the Steelers or the Raiders, I know who it is.
Oh, putting in numbers.
I'm not sure what happened to Aaron. Hopefully Aaron is still tapped in. Rejoin. Let me put the room number one more time. Password one more time. And then we're going to get started. I think we've belabored this long enough. All right, there we go. Got the Bengals. All right, hopefully Alex can join. Or Alex, not Alex, but Aaron. Alex should be set now. Ram G. Okay. I'll take Ram G.
Let's go.
Kim G didn't love football. No, he did not.
No, he like Tigers, Bears.
Yeah.
Oh my!
All right. Hopefully, Aaron gets in. One more minute. We give it 1 minute, and then we're off to the races.
Yeah, Reddick was another one.
Yeah. And I think that especially in the case of Reddick, it's coaching, right?
Yep.
Coaching, GM, being aligned, understanding how to leverage the players. A guy like Jalen Walker, especially at UGA, it's a matter of getting your best 11 on the field, right? That's why he played some off-ball linebacker, but we view him and think that being a full-time pass rusher will be just fine. I mean, you can do both, but the name of the game is getting after the passer.
Yep.
So let him do it. All right, there we go. I think Aaron's back. All right, let's get started. All right.
There go the timer.
Let me share screen so everyone can see what we got going. All right, Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, the first two selections. I anticipate that's exactly how it's going to go.
The kid is Bill Carter here.
It should be Shedeur. I don't know what DK talking about, man. Stick to your guns, stick to your convictions. You know.
Oh, I forgot.
That's what it should be, but maybe the kid has had a change of heart, perhaps. Abdul
Carter.
Okay.
Oh, go get that Kyle McCord, bro. That's what's gonna happen.
They said the 20th, the 51st, 2nd next year, and the 7th next year. Why the hell not?
I'll do it.
Yeah, why not? Let's have some fun with it. Broncos traded up for Ted McMillan and Will Campbell.
You see where Ramczyk retired?
Yeah, the injury. It was a matter of time.
Yep.
I think we've done several mocks where I have the Saints taking a tackle, right? Penning not necessarily being a long-term answer. I think he still could potentially have a shot at guard, but Fuaga and Will Campbell will be a formidable duo for a long time. So makes a ton of sense to me. Okay, Aaron with Tyler Warren.
Shedeur went to the Colts, bro.
Interesting. Well, they don't for whatever reason they don't like your boy no more.
Yeah,
they don't like.
I'm trying to tell him you need more seasoning, but them boys didn't want to listen to me, man.
Yeah. That front office is on the clock. Ballard's on the clock. All right. Dana does a customary trade down the 16 spot, and it looks like Kansas City. Oh, it's a big trade. Okay. Colson Loveland. Ooh, Campbell to the Bengals.
Okay, mad at it.
Was that the top rated defensive player for you, Alex? Probably was. Campbell can do a lot for you at the second level. Mrs. C. Is it the Booker time or is it Malachi Starks time?
Chill.
Tyler Booker, Malachi Starks. What's it gonna be? There's a lot of good football players on the board, man. I'm actually feeling good about my trade down.
Your trade down? Yeah.
Ooh, Manowari. See, you trying to get that Bam Bam. You trying to get the Bam Bam over Starks? I can't do it.
Eagles want to trade up. They want to give me 64. And the Jaguars want to trade up. Jaguars give me a little bit, but they want to take my 84th pick. We're not doing that, bro. We definitely rejecting that one. Yeah, let me just see who's on the board.
Okay.
Shamar Stewart.
I think that's a good. I think the Bengals could use because is Pratt still under contract? I don't know. The Bengals need more teeth defensively. So
yeah,
at any level in my mind.
We went Malachi.
They're trying to get me.
You gotta take
down.
that.
Yeah,
bro.
you went Malachi.
Yeah, with Malachi.
That's what I wanted. Oh man, 30 and 56.
You gotta take that.
Gotta take this one. Nah, I might take 30
second rounder. Well, you get the second rounder this year, though. Yeah, I'm gonna take that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna trade down again. Load up. All right, Bill. Yeah, I'm with you, Alex. Not over Starks. Can't do it.
SDC say you got a plan, man. So I let him have it. Got a plan.
Miller Warrior's nice. Don't get me wrong, but Malachi Starks, bro, nah. Good pick, Bill, because that's actually who I would have taken if I stayed put at 20. I'm a big fan of Derek Harmon. I would put him next to Derek Brown, Rex Shop.
Oh, yep, them boys gonna go to town, bro.
Mm-hmm. All right, Ram G.
Josh Simmons to the Dolphins. I like it. Like that.
I from the 8th overall pick to the 30th. Oh,
Chill.
They're trying to give me to trade down some more.
Just a little bit more.
This guy likes trading down. I'm gonna do it again.
Dang.
I'm scared.
Giving up the 111 pick. You go with that?
Yeah. I ain't scared. I'll do it. So, Ramsey went with Omarion Hampton. Okay. Trying to get that bell cow in the backfield. Zabel to Baltimore. Walter Nolan to Detroit. Michael Emeka Ibuka. All right. What say you, Dana? Yeah, that Ibuka pick was actually a trade down. I traded down with Cleveland. Nah, I can't do it, Alex. Nah. I think I'm gonna be making this 33rd overall pick. I think Ezeraku. I know Dana likes Ezeraku.
Another one.
Oh, first in 2026. I ain't gonna do it though.
I almost want you to drop 60 spots though, bro. That's crazy.
Oh man, y'all left squirting for me?
Yeah, we did.
I'll take it. I'm okay with it.
He's probably going right around this range, maybe a little higher.
Yeah. I like Scorton.
I'm not at it.
All right, D-Kit.
Back up.
Mm-hmm.
See, the D-Kit went with a dual Carter in the first. I see CPMG.
Oh, I see Mr. C getting aggressive. Yeah. You know he has those two second-rounders and 2 third-rounders. So curious. What did he give up? That's significant draft capital.
It is.
That's significant. So there's a player he really likes right here.
Take care of business, bro.
Is it? So he went with Manowari in the first. Is it? Good pick, D-Kit. Tyleek.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
That's why I actually thought maybe Mr. C was trading up for. Maybe Bird.
That D-line going to be crazy, bro, for the Giants right there.
Oh yeah. Maybe Bird. What you saying, Mr. C?
Mr. C, you should be running to the podium with the name.
Right
now, knocking over anybody.
Big draft capital, big.
Yeah. What you saying?
Let me see who picked who so far. All right, my trade downs, my 3 trade downs. All right, let's see what Kenneth Grant. Okay, got that big body up front. Thought it might be Tyleek he was targeting, but Kenneth Grant. Okay. Burden slides to New England. That's a good pick. Mason Taylor early. Xavier Watson.
To the
Josh Connerly. Okay. That makes sense to shore up that offensive line. Another pick coming up here for Aaron. Ooh, Trevion Henderson. There's your back. I like that Trey Harris pick. Him and Garrett Wilson. That's not bad.
Yeah, I like that.
D-Kit back on the clock, and then Dana at 47.
So I need to. All right, man.
Ooh, got his QB, Milroe. All right. Ooh, that's the earliest I've seen Tate Ratledge.
You gotta talk to me. Talk to me about Melrose now. Talk to me about Melrose. I gotta know why.
Listen. I get it. I get it in terms of the upside. I do. It's just that he's done nothing to help himself.
Right.
We were thinking fringe first round. And then I think we at one point definitively we were like, yo, go back to school, continue to work on your craft. You might be the first quarterback selected. Oh,
Right.
Oladejo early. Wow. Looks like yep, another trade down here from Dana. That's pretty good value there. Baltimore picks up Prince. That's a good pick.
That is. I like it.
Femi, 48th overall. Okay. All right. Alex back on the clock.
I see Femi going in the third somewhere.
I just that's what I'm thinking as well. I just hasn't been a strong pre-draft process, one. And then two, Ben Morrison. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Great pick. And then two, like I said, he didn't finish strong. It wasn't as if he finished on a high note, right? And there's some glaring deficiencies in terms of what he is as a passer. Now, with those veterans on the roster, you could say, hey, I'm going to bet on the upside, the talent, right? Let him develop. You got Jameis, right? Jameis going to pepper Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors going to have 200 targets, right? He going to pepper him. You know what I mean? So you don't have to rush Milroe out there. So I understand it from that perspective. I do. All right. Jalen Royals to Tennessee give Cam Ward a weapon. This is C. Drew. Y'all just stacked up after me. And Bill. Damn. All right. What do I do here? Oh, I'm running out of time just talking. Let's see. Gotta make a pick. Give me Trey Amos. Gotta play some defense. Y'all boys
took my next two corners, bro. I wanted Benmo, and then I was gonna go for Amos, bro.
I think bro. I don't know that there's anybody quite as high as us collectively, and then Headley as an individual on Benmo. Drew has mentioned it, top man-to-man corner in this class. The technique is flawless. I know folks love Will Johnson. I think a healthy Will Johnson is obviously very comparable. He's up there, right? But just in terms of pure man-to-man coverage, Benjamin Morrison is top in class, and it's definitely a need there with Green Bay. Assuming, no Jair, you know what I mean? There's a need there.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go with
nobody got the Chargers to Papa. You joined us a little late. Nobody got the Chargers, but let me see what the Chargers did in the first to give you a little background. The Chargers took James Pierce, 22nd overall. It's the one selection they've made thus far. All right. So Mrs. C got his quarterback of the future as well, Jackson Dart. All right. I guess you're not sold. You're not sold on a $100 million man, Maxwell Harrison. Very good pick, Drew. Got your corner.
Yes, sir.
Who you like more, Amos or Harrison?
I'd go Amos first, and then Harrison.
Okay. Yeah. Harrison's pretty close, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amos gives you a little bit more size.
And then Thomas is right at Bill. And I know the Bucks brought in
that X.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Yep. Yes, I know D-Kid's a huge Maxwell Harrison fan. TJ Sanders Day, I like it. Oh, I got back-to-back picks. What am I doing? What are we doing?
All that trading down? What you mean?
Yeah. I was doing some trading down. You right. You right about that. I'm about to go get me an old man. Oh, man, I love Alfred Collins. Norman Lott. I'm staying on the defensive side of the ball. There's some offensive players that are intriguing, but I'm staying on the defensive side of the ball, and I'm going with give me Darius Alexander, man. With that pick, oh, okay, Miami, sure, why not? To drop down one pick, yeah, have at it. Yeah, I wasn't going to draft him. No. I reject these two. All right. What's my next selection? I got 67, 74, 98. All right. Let's keep it going. Maybe someone on the back end, Drew. What you thinking? Back to the back end?
Nah, I got my back ends. I got my own.
No. I'm talking about me here with Carolina.
Oh, my bad, Darius. Oh. Yeah, you used my back end, bro.
Oh, y'all like Brandon Swinson here on PFN, huh?
Yeah,
I thought I might be able to seek him in a little bit later.
Because I was thinking the same thing, bro. I seen him too high. I was like, well, I'm probably gonna miss on him now.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I got Alexander. Let's see. Scoring Amos Alexander. Let me see what my edge is looking like. I like Swinson, man. I'm a big fan. Give me Brandon Swinson. I thought I might be able to get him in the third, but doesn't appear that way. There you go. Two Papa. We got Jalen Noel here in the second. Marcus Bow, Dana, good pick. I take it you're playing him at guard. That makes sense.
Who was skipping practice? Two Papa.
What's that?
Who was skipping practice? Is a little bit difficult skipping practice for guys. Okay. I got you.
Who are you referring to?
I thought you were talking to a player.
Yeah. Jalen Noel. Mm-hmm. Good pick.
Oh, Pierce. He was talking Pierce.
Yes. Yeah. We follow on that one.
Yeah, Pierce on something else.
Oh, Dana. Crushed my soul right there with Azariah. Yep.
Yeah.
Got me.
He wasn't gonna get him, bro. You was going to trade. Oh no, he could have came right there.
Well, that was the decision, Drew. That was a decision at 58. Should I go with Azariah or should I go with Swiss? I was like, all right, effective passer. All right.
Yeah, it's the pass rusher.
I took the pass rusher. Let's see. What have we done? We got Scoring, Amos, Alexander, Swinson. I think it's time for Makuba. Or is it Chris Paul? I don't know if Chris gonna be there for me. Let's go Makuba. Stand on the defensive side of the ball. All right, Aaron's up next. Big fan of Alfred Collins, too, Papa. And mind you, he might be my next pick, just cause if he's available. Just cause. Unless Aaron hates. Aaron might hate on me. Oh, Aaron did it. He did it. Just to spite me.
Put his name out there, bro.
I did. I should have kept it under wraps. All right, let me just take a look overall. I did mention Chris Paul might be in the cards. I think it's time. That's who I should have waited on. Should have went Thomas and I should have waited on Stewart. Anyway, I like Swinson. So give me Chris Paul. Flying all over the place. Yeah, he got me. All right, Alex, what we doing? Followed by Mrs. C and Drew. We doing things, though. I'm telling you, we doing things on the defensive side of the ball, Drew. Scoring Amos, Alexander, Swinson, Makuba, Paul.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, it's nice out there, bro.
All right. I'm doing some things. Ooh, I love it. I love the Dion Walker pick. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, you must watch the show, man. You must watch the show. I love that pick. Gerald Wilson. There's your interior offensive lineman there, Mr. C. See, let the best man win up front. We're not taking any chances.
Except that. We'll move down 2. Get us a fifth.
Move down 2. Ooh, Chargers picked up Arroyo. I like it. Scatterbull.
No, we rejecting
the
that.
Broncos. I could use.
All right. Let me get
use a tight end receiver type.
Demetrius Knight Jr.
Ferguson's interesting. He's intriguing.
You know what? Right here,
Restrepo.
I think I'm gonna take a guy we've been giving a hard time to, bro. Norman Lott still on here. Gelati, Josiah Stewart. I can afford this because I got a guy I want to get. I'm gonna get Demetrius Knight here, bro. We're gonna go with Demetrius Knight.
Really?
Yeah, we're gonna give him some love.
Okay. All right.
We're saying that we're going to develop him. We're going to
develop him. You're going to harness the athleticism. Okay.
Yeah, we like.
Did Bill move up? No. That's Bill's pick. No. Okay, Drew. That's a little bit of a surprise curveball you threw there.
Right. Yeah, I got a plan for my. I don't want to say it. So I gotta
okay.
Now let you know when we get there.
On the wraps. Hit the like button, folks. Hit the like button for us, please. Yeah, I'm with you too, Papa, and I think Drew is too. But perhaps just kind of betting on that upside, not necessarily going to thrust him into a full slate of snaps just yet.
Let him get his feet wet, learn behind David, and
I think Bill watches the show too. I think
Yeah,
Bill watches the show because, or
making
at
them
least he
picks.
did. At least he did, because Gelati was a player that we were very high on during the summer. I think it kind of cooled a little bit, not for any reason, that he, what I'm saying, didn't necessarily perform or anything. It's just one of those things that other guys kind of came into focus for us, and Gelati was kind of like, okay, he's old news. But I think in terms of this legitimate 4-3 edges who can reduce down to an interior defensive lineman on pass rush downs, I think he's going to be one of those guys that outperforms his draft slot. So I have him kind of falling in that third round area, but I think he's going to be a good one, definitely. Okay, Jordan Hancock right there to the Rams. This is a Rams pick right there. Got these NFC West teams all bunched up. Dana and Mr. C.
Yeah, that's good value, man.
Dana
Try to get
traded
your best
down.
player
Steelers
based
trade
on
up
where
for
they
Will
fall.
Howard. Looks like Mr. C traded down. Ferguson. Nobody likes Harold Fannin Jr. I'm going to take him. If he's at 98, I'm taking him. And he is. So, Mr. C is in front of me still. What you going to do? What's it going to be? Let's check the defense. Anybody I got to have? Ooh, Josiah Stewart still out there. Oh, CJ West. Kobe Bryant. Some good ones still out there. Ooh, Mr. C. I know Mr. C watched the show. I know Mr. C watched the show.
100% CPGM pick, bro.
Great
AKA
pick from
Juice,
Miles
man.
Frazier. Love it. Love it. Yeah, I'm going to go with Harold Fannin Jr. I just think the way he can be deployed. And Bryce Young can use some more pass catchers. Is there a receiver I really like? Nah, maybe a little bit later, but right now, give me Fannin Jr. Alexander Walker back to back for the Niners. Okay. No, you're a big fan of David Walker. You think that's kind of his spot right there in that third round area?
Bro, I'm hurt, bro. That's what I wanted, bro.
That's
that
who
was my
you wanted.
secret, bro.
Hurt.
That was behind closed doors. We're like, we're gonna get this guy. I was about to trade up and everything, bro. They got him,
Too,
bro.
Papa. Horton out of Colorado State is a guy that, again, last year we thought he was coming out. We actually thought he was going to come out. I think he should have probably came out. He would have gone higher. But sneaky in this 2025 class. CJ West to the Jags. Did Dana trade down again? Yep. I have my eye on CJ West. Torrey Horton ended up with the Jets. Quinn Ewers to the Browns. Don't do it, Browns. All right. We got Alex, then Drew, and then Dana back to back. Assuming Dana doesn't trade. Now, Dana trades down more than I do, bro. That's saying something.
Dana is she is what's the word I'm looking for? She is
Norman
what's
Lott.
the word I'm looking for, bro?
Norman Lott
She's taking in that Ozzie Newsome, bro.
Doing
her
yeah,
best
I
Ozzie
feel
Newsome,
you on that Ozzie. Another good pick there, Alex. That Damian Martinez. Underappreciated back. Great value.
Safety. It's the best person on the board, Josh Farmer. So the best on the board. All right. I'm gonna take another shot, bro. We'll do something a little different.
Manzano. Let me see what Anthony mentioned earlier.
And I am going to grab.
I'm a Dolphins fan, and I'm worried with the Josh Simmons injury history. I would rather not draft to Diatek who gets injured after we had to deal with Austin Jackson. I will say this, Anthony. I can understand why you'd shy away from Josh Simmons because I see you on the Q Robinson there. Kind of a late riser here at CPGM, between you and Headley in particular. But if you think he's got the goods, then I think the Dolphins could trade back and pick him up. Frankly, you ask Drew or Headley, Josh Simmons, a healthy Josh Simmons is the first tackle off the board. Right? So the question then just becomes, what does the medical team think of the injury? in terms of his recovery, where he's at in that process. You really have to trust those folks in order to make a determining factor. But yeah, I think Simmons is far and away a better prospect than Austin Jackson. In fact, if memory serves me correctly, we were not high on Austin Jackson. We had him more as a day 2 guy, second round pick, turn of the first round, as opposed to a first round selection. So there was a distinct polarity in terms of the outcomes associated with Austin Jackson that I think aren't necessarily there with Josh Simmons, assuming he's healthy. Stutzman, Belton, I like Belton, man. Belton's one of those guys that has grown on me, right? You talk about the tackles at the very top, and when you start talking about like that, the secondary and tertiary levels, Belton is the guy that keeps coming to mind for me. I think the Chargers are having a good draft. Bill, this is the first pick I'm not a fan of. Not a Mondone guy. Not a Mondone guy. I just don't think the football IQ is where it needs to be. Good athlete. He's supposed to be good in coverage, but a little underwhelming in my opinion. So you might be on to something, but I just not a fan of Mondone. That's the only pick I take issue with.
I think as long as if you're going to play him on like third and passing situations, I think you got a shot. Cause I think he's a good blitzer. I think he can play pass coverage, but the run is the concern. You just hope and pray they don't run right at him or run anywhere near him, because that's where things get crazy and hazy. They don't give you back-to-back picks, bro.
I want them, but as a player, I want right now. And there's Caldwell out there too. Dang. I got 146 and then 163. Yeah, we're gonna reject it. Yes, prayers to those at FSU. That tragedy today. Corey Black. It's funny because Headley just mentioned him. He's another guy from summer scouting that we just haven't talked about. We were on it so early, and then you get introduced to new players, and certain guys just kind of fall by the wayside. But Corey Black's an intriguing prospect as well. Good pick there for Minnesota. I'm gonna take a corner. I'm gonna take your guy, Drew. Give me Quincy Riley.
See, bro, this is why we can't use you. We don't want you on the pod, bro, because he's just gonna be my next pick. You're doing too much, bro. Doing too much.
Doing too much.
Anthony Ozzie, that's a D kick guy.
Oh yeah, Trapillo.
I wasn't big on him because I think he went to the Senior Bowl. I was looking for a lot from him, and he didn't show up there. But the little I saw that I watched on tape, I think he's a wide body, good hands. But I wouldn't. For me, I'm with D Kid. I don't think you would start him right away. You don't want to have to thrust him out there. I think maybe by mid-season he might be ready to go. Might be your we call him the sixth tackle. You could use him in that role.
The sixth offensive lineman. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to press
tackle.
Him. Don't. Yeah, swing tackle.
Give him an opportunity.
Yeah.
Piggies. There's your farmer pick. I'm gonna go if he's there. Is he still there? Oh no, Dana. Oh, Dana. Come on. What are we doing? It's crushing all my hopes.
Taking your players, bro. That's what's going on, man.
Crushing my hopes and dreams, bro.
Yeah, man. Gotta crash some hopes and dreams, bro.
Oh, this is my guy Noah Williams out here. I might have to take a third corner. I like Noah Williams, man. I think he's been out here a bit too long. I could probably add a swing tackle. Yeah, I'm gonna do that later. Give me Noah.
Taking a Noah. All right. I got a guy I'm gonna take, so I'm good there. We okay. I am okay.
What happened? They gave me Riley Mills. What happened? System malfunctioned. They forced Riley Mills on me, bro.
Did you take too long, bro? You ran out of time, bro?
No, I don't think so. It just said, I got a message. I wasn't sure what it said. It just kind of flashed, and then I ended up with Riley Mills. So he was not a terrible player. I just don't like him in this scheme. It's an odd man.
He was talking about Skynet, bro. The boys got you, bro.
Hey, man.
It was, bro.
It's from the future.
Hey, man,
block the pick, bro. Did the clock expire? St. D? Man, I'm just running my mouth. Yeah, St. D picked it up. Also, I like Jared Ivey. I like Jared Ivey. You just got to understand what he is. You got to understand what he is. It's very much 4-3 edge who just isn't explosive, right? He's very strong at the point of attack, good run defender, good hand usage, long limbs. But it's when he reduces down is when he becomes a problem. Those interior offensive linemen really struggle with him. Just don't expect him to bend the edge and beat tackles on a consistent basis. It's not really his game, but I think just in terms of that early rundown prowess as an edge and then the upside as an interior pass rusher is why I like Ivey. Good player.
You might be able to deploy some games with him to
Yeah.
free up other people so that may be his superpower when it comes to aiding in the pass rush department.
Frazier UTSA. Who is Frazier UTSA? I think I might be conflating him with someone. What position are we talking about, Anthony?
Corner. Your thoughts on corner? Corner out of the corner from UTSA. Yeah, corner. Zay Frazier. We'll look him up. Oh, nobody choosing for the Dolphins. That's computer.
Did he play his entire career at UTSA? Yeah, that's what I know about him. Tall, long. I'll be frank. I'm not up to speed on Frazier. I just know that from a proportional perspective, he's a long, rangy corner. Yeah. Drew, Elijah Roberts. Your thoughts on him? Drew.
My bad. Elijah Roberts.
Yeah.
Is he a D tackle or edge? I can't remember, bro.
He's confused. That's what he is. He's confused.
I was looking at I was looking to see if he played. No, it's not.
Yeah, 5-tech, Dana. I agree.
Yeah,
5-tech.
It was in 3-4-4-3 for me.
Drew, you got Monongai. I think you missed your pick.
Oh man, I'm over here looking at stuff for y'all, boy, bro.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
man,
they got me too. Riley Mills when Noah Williams was right there for me. Could have taken.
Come on, bro. I ain't want no Monongai, bro. Y'all boys didn't tell me. Boys hit me with the distraction, bro.
Yeah, man. Hey, it's hate out here, bro. Let's see where.
Oh, I see two folks I would have drafted, bro. You know what I noticed about this right here, bro? The PFN simulator. They don't like guys who aren't like super athletic. That's what I'm looking at.
I got Blue. I like Brashard too, but I'm gonna give Blue some love.
Is it Asanin? They got him down here at 309. They had Jared Ivey pretty low. I guess if you don't jump off the stat sheet, the stat sheet, and you're not flashy, bro, them boys, I don't know. They have to break it down to me, man.
Yeah, Anthony. There's definitely a helmet bias at times with certain organizations, but Frazier ends up with Jacksonville. But I do believe in do not scout the helmet. Do not scout.
That may come down to the scout in the room, bro. Like, hey, I need you to convince me of this guy, right? Convince me, Nicholas. You know what I'm saying? And the boys just don't. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all know that reference? Y'all know that convince me, Nicholas? I don't know if y'all know that reference. Oh man. But yes. I think to a detriment, there are times where organizations, GMs, they disregard certain prospects because of the helmet, right? And it's folly. We've seen it too many times where guys have come from, non-Power 5, Group of 5, subdivision type schools have a ton of success at the NFL level. It doesn't matter. Now, that being said, he will be found, right? Frazier has the goods. They will find him. There's no question about that. But certain teams will miss because they're just scouting the helmet. All right. Dana doubling up on offensive line here, or i.e. Clay Webb, Jacksonville State. There you go. There you have it. What were your thoughts on Webb, Drew, coming out of the Senior Bowl?
About Clayton?
Clay Webb.
I say Clayton.
Actually,
Clay Webb.
yep.
No, I
Versatile.
like Clay Webb. I thought he battled out there. You know, was he what's the school he came from?
Jacksonville State.
Jacksonville State, that's what it was, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's a
I
good
thought
pick.
he
That
battled out
comic book
there.
pick's a good pick.
I thought he would take on a lot of contact initially, but he's able to kind of recover, adjust, and then, you know, be able to drive or hold his own.
Yeah.
Hey,
Alex said he's scouting the
sometimes-
helmet, bro.
Listen, it happens, bro. You're human. It's gonna happen. It happens to everybody.
Listen.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take a page out of Drew's book, right? Drew's, you know, his litmus test is: did you dominate? Did you dominate? If you played lower competition, did you manhandle? Did you dominate? Were you a man amongst boys? Right, first and foremost, and then you start to look into some of the athletic traits. Do you think he's a good enough athlete? I know here at Couch Potato General Manager, we generally don't try to put too much stock in that. But if you're playing at a lower level, right, it's just not the same types of athletes. So can we match that dominant film up with some impressive athleticism testing, right? That usually gives us a good picture. And then of course, when you're able to go to the Senior Bowl or the Shrine Game, or whatever the case may be, and level of competition is no longer a question, and you perform well there, i.e. Gray Zabel. Now I know North Dakota State is a powerhouse, right? It just churns out players, but it's clearly not, you know, the SEC, right? But Zabel was perhaps the best player in Mobile. So that's kind of the litmus with that. All right, Alex on the clock. DP, what's happening? I wish DP got in this one, but we missed him this time around. No problem. 7-round mock draft, viewer control mock draft. Yeah, I mean, look where Cam Ward started. All right. Now, obviously, the high school that he played at, it was a wing tee. They weren't putting the ball in the air. But you know, Incarnate Word lights it up, parlays that into Washington State, Wazoo, and then culminates in Miami. Yeah, Jake, we might get one more of these in. We may be able to get one more of these in next week. We'll see. But that being said, Jake, we need to finalize time and date when we're going to do our mock on your channel. So hit me up.
Anthony, I think it's Jackson Slater. I think this probably would be the better.
Sacramento
I think
State. Sacramento State. Yeah.
I think they both can play center, but I think Jackson Slater maybe because he's a better mover. But it wouldn't surprise me if Webb showed up and showed out in that position at some point.
Bill got another great pick there in Ty Robinson. I was looking at him earlier, but I went with Jaden Blue because that's my guy. All right, D-Kid, what you do here in the 7th? The only thing is this Riley Mills pick, man. Damn it, man. I was supposed to be Noah Williams. All right, I'm paying attention this time. What do we do? Tonka. Okay. Dante Trader.
But none got pick hurt me, bro. I'm hurt, bro.
Hurt, isn't it?
Hurt. Yeah, I'm hurt, bro.
Hurt. You know what? Let me get my guy Nick Martin, man. Add some more juice to the second level.
Your guy.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Martin.
Heavy.
Oh, my guy's still there, so I'm all right.
Anthony, you're not a YouTube guy? Oh, that's the wrong comment. Here we go. Right here. Double check the bell. Double check the bell, Anthony. But it's technology. It's technology.
Yeah, it don't always work. It's hit or miss.
Yeah, technology will screw you over at times. Definitely going to do a better job of providing a little bit more notice using the community channel and stuff to let you guys know when we're going live. But typically, this particular draft cycle, it's been Thursdays, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, obviously 10 p.m. this evening. And then we once we're into draft season, we typically will add an additional show during the week. So, but I'll be cognizant of that, Anthony. Hopefully, we can mitigate that more in the future. YouTube be tripping, bro. Hating, man. YouTube be hating. They be hating, man. All right, Bill. Putting together a clinic. How do we cap this off? That's a nice pick there, Baron Sorrell. Fidoni, okay. Ty Hamilton. I like Ty Hamilton, man. And I think that's exactly, he's going to go late, but he's going to be a good one.
I'll play his draft position.
Smart James. Bill on the clock again. Bill, well, this is what Green Bay does. They make a lot of picks day 3. Bruh, can you imagine, man, if I had Noah Williams right here? Man, come on. All right. We're going to save my draft for later. All right, let's start with you, Drew.
Yeah, went with Malachi Starks in the first.
In the comments, grade his draft.
Yeah, all right, the Monangai thing, you can't hurt me, bro, because that's not what I would have done. So the 157 pick, you just throw that out, bro. All right. But I went with Malachi Starks. I know I need a safety. It's not my top need, but that's the best safety on the board at the time. I think Enamari went right before that. That was due to Mrs. C. Prasky. Then we went Maxwell Hairston. He's brought in by the Bucks, I think, this week. So, got to get my corner right. And then I'm going to take a shot on Demetrius Knight Jr., but I'm going to give him some love. We've been kind of talking him down for the past couple of weeks. We're not high on him as everybody else, but we like the traits. So we're going to run with it. It doesn't have to be a starter coming in, but it'll definitely be a good special teamer for sure. And then Q Robinson. I like what you can do with him. Move him around, play on the edge, come inside, do just a bunch of different things. I think that might be a moving piece within the defense, along with our safety position. Kyle Monangai, we like him, just not there. I mean, the Bucs don't need a running back of all the positions on this team. That's the one they probably don't need. And then I got Ahmad. I'm not sure how to say his last name. I'm gonna call him Hassanin. I'm gonna go there. I like him for this team. He's a power edge more than he's a guy that's gonna come off with flash and dash. That's what Robinson's for. So, yeah, man, I like my draft. And then I traded down 2 spots to get the 5th rounder.
Yeah, that was a shrewd move there, just to drop a couple of spots. I'm not mad at the Monangai pick either. I think maybe the frustration is another player that you had in mind. But I'm not mad at the Monangai pick. We've talked about it ad nauseum. This is a draft class, running back draft class, that you just want to get a guy, right? The position, there tends to be a lot of attrition. You know what I'm saying? You can never have enough good ball carriers. I know you got your guy. You know what I'm saying? And Rachaad White's still obviously part of the backfield, the battery back there. But adding Monangai to me doesn't hurt you at all. It's actually, to me, a shrewd selection at that point in the draft. It's a quality draft. They gave you some love here, Drew. Gabriel gave you an A-. Mr. C. Prasky gave you an A-. D-Kid was probably the harshest on you with that B.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. His team coming up next. Don't worry about it.
I think the only thing I would say, Drew, is that I probably wanted something a little bit on the higher end in terms of edge rush.
Right.
But considering what you were able to do, I think at the second level of your defense with Knight and Robinson,
right.
Starks and Harrison, bro, like,
we're good. Lock them up. Let's go.
I give you a hard time about the corners and Dean getting hurt, and you tell me Zion McCollum's a superstar, but I don't know if he's a superstar. He's a good player. I don't know if he's a superstar, but no, I love the Starks Harrison selections out the gate, and I think the rest of the guys have some good upside there. Without Monangai, it would have been an A-. Come on. Now, mind you, D-Kid's a Monangai guy now. I think he's just hating. I think that's hate. I think that's hate. Be real with you. Alex gave you an A- too. So good work there, Drew. Let's go to Dana. Dana was busy. All right. Monangai, put him over the top. All right, let's talk about Dana's every pick was by way of a trade. Every single selection. And that is very much par for the course for Dana. I love it. Guys, grade Dana's draft class. Obviously, to start the draft, Ezraku, TJ Sanders, that down line, that front, trying to solidify this defense here for Arizona. Marcus Bowe, I assume is going to play guard. makes sense. I think that's where his home interior offensive line. He could even play center for you, but I think he'd start at guard for you. Nice selection there. Isaiah Thomas, I missed this pick. I probably should have taken him a few selections prior to Dana, but I think that's excellent value in terms of adding a boundary corner. I know there are Cardinals fans who feel like they don't necessarily need to do much with their secondary. They like their young players, but Thomas is distinct in that he actually gives you a bit more size and length compared to the other guys, right? The other guys are capable. Max Melton, playing on the boundary, but I think Thomas really rounds out that group at corner. Stutzman, I think, is just people just kind of get bored of Stutzman, but I think Stutzman is great value at 122, as is Anthony Belton. I think that may be your long-term answer at one of your tackle positions. I would take him a full round earlier than that, so great value there. Again, Dana dashed my hopes and dreams with Jamari Caldwell. I thought he would just be there for me. I can add him a little bit later. Of course not. Again, adding to that down line, giving you more teeth, grit up front. And then the last 3 picks on the offensive side of the ball, Ollie Gordon, Clay Webb, Chimere Dike, and then I was able to add a second-round pick in 2026. So that's good value as well. I want to get your thoughts on Dike, Drew, but Gordon, 2023, remarkable season. Right, comes back and it just did not coalesce. Dealt with some injuries. What do you think about how he could be used? I know they have the battering ram, right? The lead dog in that backfield with Connor, the Terminator. All right, they drafted Trey Benson fairly early last year. Gordon does certainly help in terms of your pass protection. I think depending on the running scheme, he might be a decent fit. But what are your thoughts? Do you think he has enough make you miss to be effective? Or do you think he's kind of a 2-3 yards in the cloud of dust at the next level? What do you think?
I think he's probably closer to that.
Yeah.
Got to get him on that track, get him downhill quick, fast, and in a hurry. If he fits that scheme, I think he'll be fine. But if it's not a scheme fit, then kind of square peg round hole. Because that's the thing about Gordon, man. I'm not sure what happened this past year, but yeah, I would say it's a scheme fit for him. Don't think he can do too many other schemes outside of getting that foot in the ground and heading downhill.
Yeah, you want to get him north and south, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. And then Clay Webb, again, I think Dana's looking at it between Bo, Belton, and Webb. All guys, I believe, that were at the Senior Bowl. I think Belton has the highest upside. Bo's probably your safest bet, right? You're going to start him in the interior, try him out at tackle. I think that's what Dana mentioned. But I like him in the interior. I think Belton really could be your answer at one of your tackle positions. I have quite a bit of confidence in his skill set. And then Clay Webb, I just it's the way he battled, the way he continues to force his way into the conversation. I think he adds a nice depth piece and could be a starter in a couple of years. So solid class. Definitely concerted effort to control the line of scrimmage, bolster the line of scrimmage. The DK pick is intriguing, Drew. Your thoughts on him? You're a Florida guy. You're the Gator guy. What are your thoughts on him?
My question is where are you playing him? Because I think he is a boundary or outside receiver. I don't necessarily think I want him inside. I mean, not that he can't play that, but a lot of the damage he did for Florida was on the outside. His ability to not run out of balance, to keep his body in balance, to be able to kind of contort and catch the football, go up and get it. But my concern for him is, can he block, bro? There were many runs I'm watching, bro. And it's not necessarily a technique thing for him. It's just, where's your head at, bro?
Yeah.
Because he wasn't doing his part in that. So,
yeah.
And I like the second round pick. I almost gave Dana a B+ because she got that second round pick from KC. I know it'll be a low second round pick, but either way.
No, it's a good pickup there in terms of the draft value. I think this is going to hinge on obviously where the emphasis of this draft was along the line of scrimmage. As Araku, I think, and Dana actually was with us when we were talking about going through some film study of his. I think Dana feels like there's some untapped potential there, right? As Araku put up big sack numbers, but there seems to be another level he can get to. So I've seen a pretty wide expanse of where he could end up, as high as the mid-teens, and as low as in the the 40s, right? So while there's some consternation in terms of where he should actually fall, I think after the trade down, a couple trade downs, getting Ezra Rock at the end of the first round was really good value. And then TJ Sanders is another favorite of Hadley's. And I just go to the 2023 tape against Georgia. That's some of the best D tackle film I saw even this past season. You turn on that tape, that first half of that Georgia game in 2023, my goodness.
Well,
I think he's another player that we were high on very early, really like what we saw. And then as we got to know more guys, he just kind of, not for any issue of his own, but just kind of faded a little bit in our minds. And then again, Isaiah Thomas, what he adds in terms of what they're kind of missing in that secondary, I think is a really good pick as well. So one thing I would say is I was anticipating a receiver a little bit earlier, right, to round out that receiving group for Kyler Murray. But I really like what Dana did here in the trenches. All right. Let's talk about Mrs. C's Seahawks. All right. Out the gate. And I'm gonna let you get to this one, Drew, but out the gate, Manowari is fantastic. Had a great season. I can't take him over Starks, bro. I can't do it. I can't do it. I know what Mrs. C is trying to do. He's trying to recreate the Legion of Boom, right? And he doesn't have a Bam. You don't have a Cam Chancellor. Manowari supposedly will fill that role. He certainly has the frame to do so. Plays with a certain level of physicality, but Malachi Starks is just too good of a player in my mind to pass him up. That being said, what are your thoughts on this draft class? Grades, please.
I gotta throw my grade in there too. I'm looking through it, man. I know, Mr. Said, did you traded down? No, you traded up to get Kenneth Grant. I'm wondering if you were trying to get Tyleek Williams. I think you went right in front. But he ended up with Kenneth Grant, and I'm not as high on Kenneth Grant as a lot of people. I think CJ West is close to a Kenneth Grant.
A plus.
So I'm not that high. I'm not mad at the Jackson Dart. I'm actually okay with Jackson Dart there. That's a quarterback of the future. Obviously, you don't have to rush him out there. I do like that pick for them. You got Jarrett Wilson, Miles Frazier. So we fixing the offensive line. That's what we saying. Our center and for our guard position.
Man, they ain't taking no chances.
Chances. We're gonna protect our quarterback. We're gonna do the right thing. I like those two picks. They make sense to me. Dante Thornton, that's your speed guy, your downfield field stretcher. I'm good with that. And then Jay Higgins. We love us some Jay Higgins.
There's a theme here. There's a theme in this class, bro. There's a theme.
There is, and then Elijah Rob. Yeah, I like this, bro. I like this. Yeah. I like what Mr. C has done here. He has an identity, bro. You can picture
for sure.
The Mona Lisa's coming together, bro.
Yes. We talking big, physical, fast.
Yep.
That's this draft class. Absolutely.
Punch in the mouth, bro.
Checks the boxes. Absolutely.
On both sides of the ball.
I really like what Mr. C did in terms of the interior offensive line. As I mentioned, I thought maybe Booker was in the cards, but he likes what he has in Jarrett Wilson and Miles Frazier, and I think that's actually the right move. For all the grief that I'm giving him for the Manowari pick, it makes sense. Assuming Malachi Starks isn't on the board, it makes a ton of sense. Kenneth Grant at that point, to me, I'm willing to roll the dice. You know what I'm saying?
You are.
Early second round. I think there's some question marks there, but considering the upside, I think it's worthwhile. And then you follow that up with Elijah Roberts a bit later. Good value there. Dart gives you some flexibility if the Sam Darnold thing doesn't work out. Again, I've talked ad nauseum about the interior. Dante Thornton is a guy that I know you have talked about a little bit more frequently here recently. Your thoughts on him, and definitely offers a different type of receiver, the receiver that they're missing in that room currently.
Juice, speed,
Yeah, definitely. That straight line, take the top off is what they're missing. Jay Higgins is a guy again that the tape
production, bro.
The tape is very good. Just doesn't necessarily check the box. Perhaps he's the one outlier as it relates to some of that athletic testing here in this particular class. But pretty good group, and very, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Early, it is focused on upside. It is focused on some of the the physical traits that you cannot teach, and I can understand it. That actually speaks to John Snyder to a degree, Pete Carroll to a degree. So I'm with it. I respect it. How we? You know what? We're going to the Bears. We're going to the Bears. All right.
And to defend Dana's defensive tackle picks real quick too is I think Calais Campbell. I think he only signed a 1-year deal if I'm not mistaken. Let me know if I'm off because I think he's on the other side of retiring. I think he's coming to that point.
Yeah, I agree with that too, Papa. Anthony, I view Amenawari, I think most do, as a pure safety, right? Who has some flexibility to match up on the slot. I don't think they're going to move Amenawari from safety in with the spoon and your boy UTSA. His name's escaping me right now. The speedster with all the picks.
About currently or
currently. Woolen, yes, thank you.
Woolen, Tariq Woolen.
Woolen, thank you. Spoon and Reek out there already. Appreciate it, guys. And Amenawari is in Mr. C. Prasky's vision, I assume, is the Bam Bam. He's the Bam Bam. But I do think he gives you some flexibility with Love in terms of being able to play a little single high. You're a little bit more multiple than perhaps the original Legion Boom from that perspective. So good class. All right. Who was it? It was
the Bears.
Yeah, that was. I'm gonna find it. I think it wasn't Anthony. It was
the Bears. Was
Aaron. It was Aaron. All right. Let's take a look at Aaron's draft class here. Okay. I've heard about Chicago potentially going with Tyler Warren. I guess Cole Kmet. Ashton Denty's already off the board here, so understood. Cole Kmet seemingly has a pretty good rapport with your boy Caleb. So, but perhaps just you're just thinking too good of a prospect, right? Just creating a lot of challenges for an opposing defense, mismatch problems. Couldn't pass it up. So Tyler Warren, 10th overall, followed up by Josh Connerly. Just in terms of his movement skills, among the best in the class. Got to work on his functional strength. I think this is a good spot for him. Just outside the first round, I think that's a really good landing spot for him.
That's a great spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Trevion Henderson, some people feel like, okay, he's maybe not the third best. Maybe he's closer to the fifth or sixth best. It just kind of depends on where you come out. But I think his skill set is something that they can definitely leverage here in Chicago. The Alfred Collins pick hurt me. I think it may have been a trade up, trade down. I'm not sure, but that one hurt me because I was looking at Alfred Collins. I think he's part of what they need in the interior of that defensive line. Tommy Hill's an intriguing prospect. I just wonder, what do you think, Drew, in terms of Tommy Hill? Do you think he's more corner or safety at the next level?
He's probably going to be a safety, I would think, just because he doesn't have that long speed that you want. He's kind of stiff. So, he ain't got the oily hips that we like. Your hips don't need to be super oily, but they can't be, it can't be a stick, bro. Like, you got to be able to, you know what I'm saying? Can't be old and rickety, right? So I think safety is probably where he's gonna have to live, assuming he can tackle. Flip, the concept of the video. Well, let me not say concept, but the people in the chat made the picks. I mean, I had a team, Juice had a team, and then everybody else had the team, and they made some trades, moved up, moved down, and made the picks. Essentially, that's kind of how that worked out.
Yeah, it looks like St. D was filling Flip in. So yeah, Anthony, we'll check out the Dolphins. We're cool with it. We'll check out the Dolphins at some point here. All right. Big steal. I agree, D-Kid, in terms of Barron Sorrell that late in the draft. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Shouldn't have been there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think
that's what I was going to go with. You just have to go before I could get him.
Yeah. Definitely a big steal. Maxon Hook is actually an intriguing pick because I think all the safeties currently on the roster in the final years final year of their respective contracts. So good to add another DB. I think Tommy Hill could play safety. I think he could play safety as well. So I know who was it who said that? That was How We Are Bears. Really not a fan of it. Really not a fan of it. Perhaps some concerns in terms of positional value. But as I look at the individual players, I'm not mad at it. I think Tyler Warren really, again, this is kind of one of those situations where, okay, maybe best player available based on your board. He creates a certain challenge. I assume you're gonna have a lot of 12 personnel, right? I don't want to take Cole Kmet off the field in favor of Tyler Warren or vice versa. I want both of them on the field. So I'm assuming more 12 personnel. Connerly, again, I think he's the key to this class, in my opinion, because I maintain the offensive line is an area that they're going to need to continue to address. Braxton Jones, I know people like Braxton Jones, but I think you can do better than Braxton Jones. He's been solid. He's outperformed his draft spot where we kind of thought he was going to be, but I think you could perform better. And the thing about Braxton Jones, I think there's a payday that he's going to be looking for, right? And I don't know that he's going to be worth what you're going to have to pay him. So Connerly makes sense to me from that perspective. I agree with how we are best in terms of the Tevin Jenkins. I'd have left him at guard. Trevian Henderson, again, you can argue whether or not there's maybe a different back you like, but I think, again, another team, we can say it for all 32, frankly, come away with the back in this class. And I think, listen, if Ashton Jeanty was available at 10, I'd have been like, yep, let's do it right here for Chicago. I mentioned Alfred Collins. I love Alfred Collins. Again, Baron Sorrell being the seal of the class. I think it's a solid class here too. Sure. All right. yeah, he's got to work on his functional strength for sure. All right, Alex, you got to wait one more team before we get to yours, Alex. Here, let's talk about D-Kit's Giants, Drew.
Yeah, man, it was trash, bro. Get that man an F. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? No. So the first pick, he went to Bill Carter. He forewent or foregone. I guess we can go forewent. Forewent Shedeur Sanders and chose himself Abdul Carter. I'm not mad at it. Then he followed up. He went back to the well of the D-line. He got Tyleik Williams. I love these two next to each other. And what else they already have on that D-line is, was it Dexter Lawrence over there? So it's going to get real nasty and real colorful for the Giants. You're not going to be able to do much in terms of run, especially not running the football. And then they're going to have the dogs come after you on them third and long situations or the passing situations. And then I thought, DK, you might go Kyle McCord. That's who I was thinking would be your quarterback, but you went Jalen Milroe. You know how I feel about Jalen Milroe. I'm not high, but I understand the pick. I understand the potential. I understand the ceiling. I'm just the where's the floor, right, for me. And then you went and got big old, big, wide, strong, aggressive Charles Grant. We're gonna be nasty down these trenches. This looks similar to who was it similar to that got the offensive line? And was that well, Dana kind of did a little bit of that, but that was Mr. C, I think. Was it Mr. Yeah, it was Mr. C with his team. We're gonna get nasty, greasy in these trenches. And then he went and got himself a running back in Devin Neal from Kansas, bro. And you pairing him with who's I don't know your running back situation.
Is it Motor? Motor's still on the contract, right? Motor Singletary.
Oh yeah, I think he's
still but I like it.
Yeah, no,
Devin Neal, absolutely.
Yeah, you said you keep saying it, bro. You said it a couple times. Everybody need to get yourself a running back.
Get you a running back.
Got himself a running back, and then we went back to the well.
There you go, D-Kid. There you go.
Oh yeah. My bad.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah. With
then we went
the Juice Neal possesses. Yeah, I like it.
Who that? Oh, Juice and Juice, bro. Juice and Juice with them two guys. And then you went back to the well of the offensive line in Caleb Rogers, and then you got you a Gator, man. I appreciate that, Shamar James. It's not a guy you can just throw out there and start. I don't think he's going to have to grow into the position. I think that was a guy who probably should have stayed in school, but he saw his shot, so he took it. So, hey man, that's a good draft, man.
It is. I think ultimately, it will. I don't know that it will hinge on Jalen Milroe. You took him in the second round, right? And the expectation is that you're gonna see if he develops. Maybe it doesn't happen. Maybe it doesn't happen. You didn't use the third overall pick on him, right? I think it's we're confident in terms of what Abdul Carter is going to be able to do. I think at one point we had Tyleik Williams squarely in the first round, so getting him 34th overall is cool too. I don't have a problem with that. I like this one too, and I think Milroe, given what the Giants have done in terms of adding the veteran quarterbacks, I think it's okay rolling the dice here. I think it's all right. I might have gone the dark direction, but I think Milroe has a higher ceiling, to be perfectly frank. So I'm not mad at it. Good stuff here, D-Kid. All right, Alex. 6 selections, no trades, just pure work. Pure work. Let's get these grades in here for Alex. Jihad Campbell in the first, and this is the team that obviously has some work to do on the defensive side of the ball. No question about it. And Alex went to work here with the first 3 selections: Campbell, Morrison, and Walker. And frankly, let me put it this way, bro. I gotta give Alex love, bro. I gotta give him love because you know how I feel about Deone Walker. Benjamin Morrison, had if not for the labrum injury, is a first round pick. Campbell, obviously a first round pick. I think Walker's back problems, if not for that, first round pick. So there's some volatility, there's some potential volatility because of the injuries, but the talent, those are 3 first round talents, bro, in my mind. All right, people argue with me with respect to Deone Walker, this, that, and the other. When we're just talking about pure talent, and it's not enough. It's not enough to be successful at the next level. But those first 3 selections, phenomenal in my mind. And then Martinez, you top 5 back in the class. Talking about getting it back. Now you got Martinez, his physicality. You add that with Chase Brown. Okay, not mad at it. Mitchell Evans is another player that I think, again, with the Harold Fannin stepping up and Mason Taylor's, Elijah Arroyo being healthy and stuff, we forget Mitchell Evans was a really good prospect. In line, you know what I'm saying? More of a traditional tight end in terms of being effective in the passing game, but good in line as a run blocker. Doesn't necessarily as sexy as some of those other guys, but really solid. And then Crawford out of Nevada. I think he has a hive as well. And you need to add more bodies to that secondary. So Alex, this some good work right here. He didn't really work the board or anything. He let the draft come to him, but I like it. What are your thoughts here, Drew? Favorite pick of the bunch?
Favorite pick of the bunch is probably the Deone Walker pick.
Yeah,
I'm jealous of the Benmo pick because that's who I wanted for the Bucks. But it is what it is. This is outstanding, bro. When you just kind of sit back and let the draft come to you, you didn't, like you said, move up or move down. You just let everything come to you, and you essentially take the best player at that time for your team in terms of need, board meeting the need. This was perfect, bro. This was perfect.
It's the only thing is that there's some trepidation because of the injuries. Even when we were talking about Campbell, right? Even with Campbell, I mentioned Morrison and Walker, but even with Campbell, there's some concerns, right?
Listen, I guess you could say that. You could say that. This draft could be ruined basically because guys might be injured, might stay injured. But your thought is if they're not,
they're not trading Hendrickson. I thought they would, but apparently they're not.
If these guys end up not being injured, then they're probably going to be the players we think they are, right? Which is stars, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Howie correctly points out the risk, but listen, it's a risky proposition. The draft is a risky proposition. Nothing is promised, man. I love the upside. I love the upside. Perhaps you want to balance that with a little bit more, certainty as it relates to health. But it's like I said, in my mind, those first 3 players are all first round talents. Yep. They won't all go in the first round, obviously, for various reasons, but they're all first round talents in my mind. And you know how I feel about Damian Martinez.
Yeah,
Martinez.
You know what's crazy when you're doing these mock drafts and you're doing these drafts? Sometimes you may draft the injured player, and then next time around you see another guy and you're like, I want to draft him, but he's injured and I already did that. So let me go elsewhere.
Right.
Like, nah, I ain't going elsewhere. Talent's there, I'm gonna take him. We'll worry about it later, type of thing. So I like it. I ain't scared out here. Scared money don't make money.
I don't think Raekwon was in the same stratosphere as Walker when his pad level is right.
No, sir.
He's even in the same stratosphere, man.
No.
But But in terms of effectiveness, if that back issue lingers, then you might have a similar situation, unfortunately. But
Right.
yeah, Alex, it was a risky proposition, but the upside is insane. It's insane. All right, let's talk about the Rams.
Rammies.
Yeah, we got So I've seen this a couple times now. Marion Hampton to the Rams, despite Kyron doing his thing, and they've added Blake Corum, bringing in Marion Hampton. Um, there was a bit of a wait there, and then you went to Jordan Hancock. Now, there's several corners I like more than Jordan Hancock, so you're gonna have to kind of talk to me, convince me on that one, Drew. Just based on who was on the board. Not to say that Hancock's a bad player, but just consider who was on the board. Buchanan is a baller, bro. I don't know that we were late to the party. I just don't think we gave him enough love throughout the process. But Buchanan is a baller, and the Rams have a significant need at the second level of their defense. Cornelius, good value, solid value at that point. McCord, I like this pick because the arm is live. There's no question about it. You don't have to thrust him into any immediate work. It may never materialize into something, or maybe Sean McVay really, polishes him up, right? It becomes the heir apparent to Matthew Stafford. Not sure how that'll play out, but I think at that point, 190, I think that's great value. Again, another tight end that we just kind of forgot about because, as I mentioned, Fannin, Arroyo, Taylor, Ferguson, like it got sexy all of a sudden. And I haven't even mentioned Colson and Warren, right? But Luke is another good one, right? In a quality class. Jimmy Horn in the slot, bro.
Let's go. Let's eat, bro.
You got Tay, Puka, and then Jimmy Horn. Ooh. Ooh.
Let's eat, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Rams have demonstrated a good job of being able to get guys later in the draft, guys to come in and contribute. I think BJ Adams could be another one of those players as well. Got a chance to watch him up close and personal in Mobile. Like what I saw, he competed. Solid size as well, right? It's not a behemoth, but good size, good length. There to match up on the boundary. So another solid class here. Another solid class here. I think that Amari Hampton pick, I'm not mad at it. I like Hampton a lot. I'm probably the biggest fan of Hampton among the trio here at Couch Potato General Manager. Would you go with Hampton in the first round for the Rams, Drew?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I understand the pick. I get it. No. I wouldn't.
He's definitely a different type of back than what they currently have. I just think. And I'm looking at this draft class, and this would be the one area that I'll knock because I think top to bottom it's a pretty good draft class. But the one area that I will knock is this Rams team could not stop the run, right? And I know they may have done a few things, Poona Ford, in free agency, but I would like a little bit more, physicality, beef up front to slow down the opposing rushing attack, right? They can definitely get after the passer. No question about that. Again, I like Buchanan as being part of the answer to stopping the run, but you need someone to clear the path, right? I need a Fred Collins. You know what I'm saying? I need a CJ West in this mix.
Yeah.
I need one of those
Cam
types.
Jackson.
Yeah. I need one of those types here. Even as you mentioned, Cam Jackson, Ty Robinson a little bit later, right? I would say that would be the one kind of area that I nitpick on this one.
Teddy's the guy you got to keep clean, bro. Otherwise, there's going to be some problems out there at the second level. So if you got that solved, then he is going to eat. He's going to do his thing. You're right.
I remember watching Poona at the Senior Bowl years ago, and I was like, damn.
He called it, bro.
Yeah, man. Undersized D tackle, like in terms of height, just in terms of his height, right? But that natural leverage. And he was making plays sideline to sideline. Then he went undrafted. I'm like, damn, they ain't draft Poona? Because Poona didn't check all the boxes in terms of the measurables. But here we are, I don't know, 6-7 years later, and Poona's still doing it. You know what I'm saying? So good stuff. All right. Here we go. Bill did the damn thing, man. I'm Harmon, Higgins, Gelati. Like the only pick that I gave him grief for was the Mondone pick. I don't like the Mondone pick. He stole Noah Williams from me because they hated. They vetoed my pick. Ty Robinson, I think probably should go 40, 50 picks earlier than 198. I'm not sure why, a lot of these mock draft simulator, it might even be reflected in our simulator, right? But I think just watching him in Mobile, going back to his tape, I think I view him as a top 150 player. So great value there. Fedoni is another tight end, big body, in a deep class. And then you added a tackle from Kansas there to kind of be the swing guy, perhaps, heir apparent in one instance. I know Rasheed Walker, I believe, is going into the last year his deal. I love Harmon too, D-Kid.
So let me ask you, if you move Noah Williams up to 124, then you do Ty Robinson at 159, and you get Mondone at 198, you good?
I'm better with it. I'm still taking Nick Martin over Mondone, but I'm better with it. Yeah.
I hear that.
So it worked out. Don't get me wrong. It worked out. They got that guy. They got that baller, Edge Cooper, last year. And I know Quay is kind of like, but Mondone, I'm not a fan of Mondone. You got to show me.
Yeah.
But that Harmon, Higgins as St. Deep, bruh, I'm with you, St. Deep. Sheesh.
Yeah, that's sick right there, bro. That's sick right there.
Yeah.
Derek Harmon, I think he's gonna do a lot of damage, bro.
Bruh.
I'm gonna say this, bro. And I'm saying it. How can I say this without being crazy with it, bro? I want to say this, bro. People are gonna mention him. They may put him in the same sentence as Aaron Donald. And I don't mean in terms of stats. I don't mean it just in terms of his disruption and his constant bro, we got to block this guy. We got to block this guy. I don't think the attention.
Yes. Just the attention he demands. Yes. Hey, man, that's high praise. And
that's why I think he's coming,
Harmon.
Bro.
Yeah. I love Harmon. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he does at the next level, because I think in terms of interior defensive linemen, even more so than Mason Graham, this past year's film is clearly the best. Clearly the best in class. I don't know that I would put him over Mason Graham as a prospect per se, overall, the entire body of work. But this last year's film, I think Harmon was just more consistent week in and week out. So, yeah man. I was that's the player I would have taken if I stayed at 20 after I traded down initially from 8. Had I stayed at 20, Derek Harmon would have been the selection. Jaden Higgins really, blew everybody's mind in terms of what the numbers he posted up at the combine. I think he really, legitimizes that receiving core, which is talented. It's just had its struggles. It's had its struggles with consistency. So good pick there. D-Kid mentioned it. Gelati didn't have the season that we had hoped, but I just think he's going to be a good pro, bro. I think he's going to be a good pro. So Harmon, Gelati, Robinson up front. And then, I'm a huge Noah Williams fan. That's a guy. I don't know if I ever stamped him, but that's my guy right there. Love Noah Williams.
Yeah, Howie our Bears. Need to tell my guy from Florida, Desmond, the 464 pounder. You need to get on that Harmon diet, bro.
All right, let me check out these full results so we can take a look at the Dolphins draft. Let's see here. Anthony's been patient, so Josh Simmons in the first, and again, Anthony kind of was like, I don't know, because of the injury. Again, I understand your trepidation there, but and Anthony's point is that I don't trust my medical staff, right? So under those circumstances, perhaps it's best to pivot to a Gray Zabel, right? You're looking more interior, so if you really want to go tackle here, who's the player at that point, Drew, in your mind? With Membo, Will Campbell off the board, Kelvin Banks Jr. is off the board. If you don't go Simmons at tackle, but you're looking for a tackle, do you take the swing on Connerly? I know he would fit the scheme in terms of his movement ability, that outside zone that they run there. Are you willing to take that leap just with the clean bill of health?
No, I'm comfortable with taking Josh Simmons, but if we're not taking Simmons, I'm probably moving down a couple spots, and then I would grab Connerly. Is probably what I would do.
Gotcha.
Assuming I got a
Yeah,
trade
I
partner.
tend to agree with you there. Good call, Saint D. Appreciate it. All right, Saint D with the hack right here. All right, then Femi. I thought Femi was a little early, to be perfectly honest. Jonah Slater, you doubled up in interior. The Dolphins really do need to retool their offensive line, so I'm not necessarily mad at that. And then Lunt as well. Maybe that's a little overkill. Might be a little overkill with Simmons, Sabanea, Slater, and Lunt. But definitely an area of the team, that offensive line, they need to address. We always talk about it here, the most important position group. I really like Jackson Slater as well. Malachi Moore is a good pick because of just the flexibility he presents in that secondary. We're anticipating Jalen Ramsey to be going. There's more Holland. They're kind of retooling things there. And defensively, when we talk about the offensive line, right, definitely a priority collectively. But the Dolphins have a lot of work to do defensively as well. So Malachi Moore and Pegues, as well as Castro, are some good selections. Glendon Miller is not a player I'm terribly familiar with, nor is Dericky Wright. These two safeties are not players I'm terribly familiar with. So I apologize. I can't really weigh in on the last two picks, but I think in terms of adding solid players, and in the case of Moore and Pegues, perhaps above average players, I think the Dolphins did a pretty good job here in what looks like the fourth, fifth round. I really think they did a good job there. Again, the priority was the offensive line. Femi a bit early for me, but I like Femi. It's not as if I don't like him. How early would you take Femi, the edge out of UCLA?
The earliest I would take him would probably has to be towards the like one of the last two picks in the second round would be the earliest, but I'm not looking to take him there either. I mean, that's I'm like gingerly doing it, bro.
Pegues is a big time athlete, man. But you need that body. You need that wide body up front, and the Dolphins are missing it. Like they were hurting without Christian Wilkins last year. They were hurting. You know what I'm saying? They absolutely need it. So yeah. Mike McDaniel figure out a package, have Pegues out there running an option or something. You know what I'm saying? He's a dive man on the option. Alex doesn't like it. Perhaps not. Well, or maybe so, because they got him taking that tackle early and then another tackle at 116, and in between that, a pair of guards. So I think they definitely took enough swings along the offensive line to try to get that thing situated. Okay. D-Kid asked us to take a look at Philly. So we got Jackson and Jackson, Shamar Turner, Savion, Kendra Joyner. Ooh, Jared Ivey late. Jabbar and Tucker. Yeah, they did the damn thing, bro. I'll be real with you.
They usually do.
Yeah, they did the damn thing.
Yeah,
and none of these guys, save for maybe Donovan Jackson, are going to be asked to play significant snaps. That's the thing. You're going to give these guys an opportunity to develop and rotate in. Yeah, Ivy was late. I thought I might be able to get him, but the Eagles snatched him up. All right.
Yeah, Dolphins flip. Yeah, Dolphins is a CPU draft, and so was the Eagles.
Yeah. Let's check out Hadley's Falcons. They didn't have a ton of picks. I think he'd be okay with those first two, though. I think he'd be all right with those first two. And even the Kobe Kingpin. Waxer's a player I'm not terribly familiar with. If anybody has any intel on
I don't know why they would have went there.
Yeah.
Went there with a corner again. I'm not sure about that. He'd be okay with
Well, I'm not necessarily mad at that. They probably could use a safety a little bit more.
Yeah, that's
But they have some holes in the secondary. They have multiple holes in the secondary. Yeah. Them first two. Those first two. Considering the lack of draft capital that they have, I mean, I wouldn't be mad if I was able to come away with those two. All right. Anybody else? I know there's some Tupapa, Pierce, Noel, Arroyo, Tutton, Farmer, Gideon. It's my guy Willie Lampkin, Jackson Hawes, and Reed out of Utah. Reed was in Mobile, right?
Yeah, he was out there.
Yeah,
I thought he was okay. It's all right.
I think this is a good spot for Farmer,
Right
right?
there. Set up
Yeah,
a
yeah, big
third.
time
Around.
big time
Yeah,
upside, but just not consistent tape. And
yeah.
and at times the tape is bad. At times it's not good.
Bro,
But
it's hard to get up when every week y'all,
that's true. That's a good
rough, bro.
point.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you missed it, J2K. You missed it. We'll I'll circle back. Actually, we had a user select for Chicago, so we'll circle back in just a second here. I like Tutton. I like the upside, explosiveness. Arroyo, Canes. You already know what time it is. Jalen Noel's a player, bro. You might argue that perhaps he's a little too similar to Lad McConkey in terms of like body types and things of that nature. I think McConkey's actually a bit bigger, but Noel's a player, bro. Definitely. Um, It's Pierce, bro. That's the question. Is he going to be dialed in? Is he going to continue to take those steps that we've seen? Right. We kind of feel like there's still
Need number one.
quite a bit we should be able to get from him, but the counting numbers were there this year in terms of hurries, sacks. It was kind of a slow burn because they were blowing folks out, wasn't playing a whole lot, at times disappearing, but he turned it on at one point. I don't know, bro. I just don't see the snap dominance that I want to see from him, bro. Right?
All right.
It just in my mind, and it's the reason why, aside from any concerns about mentality and work ethic, whatever the case may be, just setting that aside, just watching him on the field, I just feel like, where's that extra gear? You know what I'm saying? I see he makes some plays. He seemingly has the explosiveness, the bendiness that you'd like. Definitely stronger. You mentioned that quite a few times throughout the draft cycle here, Drew. Pierce definitely came back stronger this year because he was a liability against the run a season ago. But I'm just waiting for him to. I need more. Need more from him. Yeah. And that's a good call out. Coaching. You know what I'm saying? Might be the key to unlocking Pierce. All right.
That's funny.
So let's go back to the Bears real quick.
The Bears.
What J2K thinks. Hill, Sorrell. Yeah. I'm not mad at this class. I know we had another Bears fan in here who was like, no, this is terrible, but I'm not mad at this class. All right. And it was a good call out in terms of the fact that Brian Johnson, he runs a lot of 12 personnel.
Yep.
Yeah. That was my point too, Papa. I do think there's some redundancy in terms of Noel and Ladd, but Noel's a really good player. Really good player. Where did Kyle Williams go? Anybody know where Kyle Williams went in this draft?
I didn't see him go. I didn't see him on the board.
I wasn't even looking at the receivers. I'm looking at the third first. There he is, right here. That's a good pick for the Saints.
Yeah,
that's a good pick for them.
I don't like it, but I like it.
Yeah, PFN is recognizing that release, that release package.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Let's see. Then we got my Panthers draft class.
Yeah.
All right. I need to hear it. Now, forgive me for the Riley Mills selection. Maybe that tips the scale for you. Maybe you hate it. I don't know. I didn't make that pick. Right?
No, you ran out of time
with Noel Williams. I was going on with Noel Williams. I was talking too much apparently. But what you think, Drew? I need grades. How did I do with this Panthers team?
First of all, we know you're gonna do your Ozzie Newsome. You did that. you and Dana, specifically. But this is fantastic, bro. This is traffic. This is a strong draft, and it's what the Panthers needed. That defense was Swiss cheese. That defense was
historically bad.
It was bad.
Historically bad.
They need players at every level of the defense, and you did that, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got one of the best edge players in Scorchin, who's starting to fly. I mean, he's already essentially kind of flown up the draft board. Think he's going to get picked around, pick anywhere from about pick 25 to I'd say about 35, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
It's probably where he's going to go. Trey Amos is probably going to go in the second round just because of the amount of corners that are already there. That's a good pick for them. Darius Alexander, who we love. I mean, that's another interior guy. So you got these big bullies up front. Then you got I think he's going to be a star in Swinson with the hand usage out on the edge. So you got Nasty at the edge in Scorton. You got Nasty in the interior with Darius Alexander. You got a little bit of a technician, I want to say, in Swinson. He has a little bit more to kind of refine and whatnot.
Yeah.
Right. But you need that. And then you got Andrew Makuba out there playing safety along with Trey Amos in the secondary. And then you said, hey, man, we got to go to the second level. Let's go to the second level. Let's get us a linebacker, Chris Paul, who we love a lot, bro. Like you go and you watch that Ole Miss defense. He's probably the one guy you're not going to miss. You can be like, well, who is that? I think he was number 4. Who is that guy, bro? Because he shows up. He's all over the place. He's where he's supposed to be. Sometimes he's where he's not supposed to be, making a play type of thing. So, and you would love that from a linebacker that speaks to instincts, studying the tape, and understanding what's happening in front of you. Then you went and you got Harold Fanning. He was just there for the taking. He said, let me just grab him. Nobody wants him. I'll take him. Play him at receiver. He can play a little tight end. We're not asking him to go out there and
I'm a flex him. I'm a flex him, bro. I'm a flex him.
We're going to get the mismatches. We're going to get some mismatches. And I guess you were going to go back to back at corner. You got Quincy Riley. You took one of my guys who we love.
Yeah, you just know how I feel about Noel, bro. You know what I'm saying?
You got to have him, bro. Yeah.
Caldwell was gone. I was going to go with Caldwell, but I think Dana hated.
She did.
Dana hated. So yeah, bro. Yeah, man.
That would have been a good one too. I probably would have preferred that over go Quincy Riley and then go Caldwell, or flip them, however you was going to do it.
Right.
That would have been perfect, bro. And then you go and you get your running back. If it's not Martinez, let's go get us a Jaden Blue, catch out the backfield,
you just hit the nail on the head, bro. Remember Gibbs in the passing game at Bama?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Blue got that juice, bro.
He does.
And those hands in the passing game for Bryce Young. That was my thought process there. Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, I'm with you. I love it. And then you got Nick Martin. That's a guy you kind of key on. That's a CPGM juice specialty. And Nick Martin, who we love him over here as well. Me and Hadley love him. But yeah, bro, you got speed and nasty, bro.
Yeah,
with a pinch or two of technique and technicians in there.
With a pinch or two. I like that. I like that. Appreciate the feedback from the chat. Tacked on that second rounder next year. Yeah, there was a lot of trades being thrown my way. And I think some of them were too good to be true, to be frank. And of course this reflects a trade down from 8 down to 33. I know that people are kind of some people are in and tentative with Scourton. I don't expect Scourton to be 12, 14 sacks. You know what I'm saying? I think he's going to be 7.5, 8. He might have a couple years with 10, 11.5. That's what I'm thinking. But I just think just in terms of down in, down out, the physicality, the physical edge, and being effective enough as a pass rusher at this point in the draft, I'm okay with it, right?
He's going to allow other people to eat,
a higher floor. Yes. Yeah. But
he's a safe player,
with that being said, I think what they asked him to do at Texas A&M didn't necessarily allow him to get up the field like he was doing at Purdue.
Yeah. Unleash.
I think people were expecting the same player from Purdue. Correct. Got a little bit different because of the way he was being deployed.
And so if you're looking at the Purdue tape, it's almost I forgot about the Purdue tape. My bad. A little bit of a different player. And yeah. Karlaftis, that's actually a good that's a good, I would say comp. I hate using that, but that's a good comp. It's good, help people understand who he is. But yeah, bro, it's which version of Scorton you getting, bro? That's how you gonna deploy him. But to me, I'm probably gonna let him eat, bro. Just unleash him and let him go.
That's what's up. That's what's up right there. St. D, I'm with you. I actually had my eyes fixed on Nick Nash at one point, but I thought to myself, okay, we grabbed Fannin. I'm not going to deploy him in line consistently, right? I'm going to flex him. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to isolate him, get some matchups, use his size, use him in the slot. So that's the only reason why I kind of came off that. But in the back of my mind, I was like, yeah, we still got a need at receiver. Ideally, we would have been able to add a receiver, perhaps a receiver instead of Riley Mills here, just for my purposes. But overall, I'm thinking about it. You probably need to double up in terms of the down line. So at some point, so I don't hate it, but I would have liked to have come away with a receiver as well. With you there. All right, folks. Good stuff. This was a lot of fun. In fact, I'm going to try to get this one chopped and screwed and get it on the channel as a standalone video. All right. So be on the lookout for that. Next week, I'm not sure yet. We'll get that solidified probably within the next day as to whether or not we're streaming on Monday, but certainly Thursday, Friday, and probably Saturday for day 3 we'll be streaming. So tap in with us. I'll get those set up so the times are out there. Everybody can set their reminders. YouTube, as much as it hates, whatever the case, maybe we can work around that. So looking forward to it. But it's a lot of fun. Hopefully we can get another one of these in before the draft. All right. Good stuff. Thanks, everyone. All right. For Drew, this is Juice. We'll see you guys soon.